Hey, what's what's a day without a little tech issue excitement? Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel. Welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast number 159. This is the one about ranking and titling in Jeet Kune Do. Sorry for the late start, unavoidable, but I think everything's up and running now. So the origin of today's title comes from a recent episode of the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues, and I thought I'd talk to you about it today because it provided me a source of humor, and it did make me aware of some moments of awkwardness and perhaps even some confusion for people out there. So as you are logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button, and feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you're catching the final edit video over on the YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. If you enjoy my work and you'd like to support the program, please visit jkdrebel.com, click on the Rebel Gear link, and that's where you will see stuff like this, the 4 tenets of Jeet Kune Do t-shirt, a perennial favorite. All right, that's what it looks like in front and back, and that's available over at jkdrebel.com. Click on the Rebel Gear link and you would be, as they say, good to go. All right, but of course the best thing you can do is to share this video and spread the word about the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. All right, so yes, believe it or not, I got some grief from a guy because I used the title Sifu, not for myself, but for a dialogue partner of mine a few weeks ago. And I guess essentially this guy's take was whether or not it was necessary to use titles in Jeet Kune Do. He asked, I don't know if it was rhetorical, right? But he asked questions like, if titles give you respect, right? And his take was that titles are not necessary. Telling others what rank you have is not necessary. Telling others of a title that you have is not necessary. Using titles in advertising is poor etiquette. And then he hit on the liberated concept, the letting go, the non-attachment, which is the foundation of JKD. And it all sounds pretty good, but didn't make any sense to me. So that's some of it made sense, but overall, he and I just had a difference of opinion. I'll tell you this: I think it's appropriate to use within your lineage, but I agree with him that it can get a little bit tedious. And here's where it can be funny. Let's say that I am at dinner with Dan Asano and Francis Fong and Levon Martin, and there's a bunch of us seated at a big table, and a student says, "Hey, Sifu, it's possible for all 4 of us to look up and think that we are being addressed because everybody that I just mentioned is a Sifu at his or her own school. But thank God we have first names and last names. So it's fairly easy to illustrate who you're calling on just by using that person's Christian name or surname, isn't it? Okay, problem solved, right? I mean, how hard is it to say, hey, Sifu Dan, hey, Sifu Asano, right? It reminded me a little bit of, there's a story told, I don't have it here with me. There's a story told on page 60 of the Jeet Kune Do Art and Philosophy book. And it's when, as they say, not in Asano, Bruce Lee displayed his strict disciplinarian bent. And he said something like, I know that socially, a lot of us in here are friends, and that outside of the school, I'm Bruce, but in here, inside the school, you call me Sifu. He said something like, because of the informality, there has to be some discipline. So I kind of used that as a guideline when I started my school, because like Bruce Lee, like a lot of people actually, I started off with a bunch of friends. As things grew and developed, see, and that's the issue. See, there's one thing, if you are a Jeet Kune Do enthusiast, if you have a bunch of guys that you work out with, that's a completely different setup from if you run a professional establishment or something similar. So I taught that the term Sifu was used for teacher. I taught that the term Sigung was used for your teacher's teacher. I taught that the term Sibak was used for your teacher's seniors, right? And that within the school there was the Sihing. We didn't really take it much further past that, which is why I said earlier that I think it's appropriate to use it within your lineage. But imagine, I mean, outside of your lineage, trying to calculate family terms would be a little bit ridiculous. But and I did that because I am fortunate to have, again, like many people, I'm fortunate to have students who are inherently respectful, and so they wanted to know what the other terms would be. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys have seen this, and I can't make it bigger than that, but this is, I think I got this from a Douglas Wong, and some of you guys might know who he is. I think I got this from his Kung Fu Way of Life book, right? And it really is kind of tedious, like I said earlier, to take this beyond your own lineage, right? So if you guys have never seen this before, there you go. All right, okay, so if you were to ask me, well, how did all of this start? From what I've heard, back in the old days of Kung Fu, people took to calling their teacher Sifu. It was not necessarily a term that the teacher used himself, right? That term was assigned to him. But again, see, that's different from when Kung Fu, as they called it, became a thing, especially in the Western world, especially here in the United States. I mean, when people started teaching in a Kung Fu school, you were not going to last if you didn't have some kind of a ranking system. And I think that's how they pretty much adopted maybe even the coloring system from the karate and the taekwondo schools. And that's how they ended up with the silk sashes, you know, of different colors all the way up to black sash and what have you. Perhaps that's where the terms of address all evolved as well. Now, when it comes to Jeet Kune Do, we know that even if Bruce Lee never made a big fuss over it, we know that Bruce Lee did have a colored ranking system, right? Let me show you if I can pull it up here. Do I have it? Yes, there we go. Right. So this is a thing that was used at Bruce Lee's schools, right? So that it showed the date that a person could be promoted to a different rank or what have you. And so they're like, what did it say here? 8 ranks, right? So we know that even if he didn't make a fuss over it, that Bruce Lee did have a colored ranking system. So if you decide in running your establishment that you're going to use a colored ranking system, I don't think that you are breaking some kind of Bruce Lee rule, you know, that you're going against some unspoken JKD ethic. Bruce Lee used these things when they work for him. And so I think we can use them as well when they work for us. Now, is there going to be abuse of this? Yes. Is there going to be abject idiocy when it comes to this? Yes, of course. It is quite common nowadays to find people referring to themselves as Grandmaster this and Grandmaster that outside of the JKD world. Well, no, actually inside the JKD world, you can find it as well. I just remembered that, right? I've seen people, and I think they do this because they're trying to be respectful. And as far as they know, a senior person in an art is the grandmaster. So I have seen people referring to Bruce Lee as Grandmaster Bruce Lee, right? But they didn't get that from Bruce Lee himself. I think these are people who just don't know any better, and so they're trying to be respectful, because Bruce Lee would never have asked to be referred to that way. Another humorous aspect of this, I've seen people at a seminar, a guy with his students, and he's walking around in his school T-shirt, and it says Sifu big and bold letters right over here, and then you know, he's got some of his underlings with him, so their shirt says Sihing big and bold under it. I thought it was cute, right? But it's kind of funny. And when it comes to the confusion aspect, right, this is what I'll say. It appears that in some JKD circles, they are not aware that the term guru is not a JKD term. It's obviously a Filipino word that means instructor. It's not a JKD term, right? So I'll just say that. Now, so in going back to what this guy had to say to me, so does JKD require titles? This was another one of his questions. I say, no, it does not require titles. Do you require a title to be recognized? I say, no, you can be recognized just by your name. Do you require a title to be skilled? No, you could just be skilled because you train your butt off, right? Does anyone recognize a title as knowledge or skill? Yes, right? Yes, people do recognize a titled person as somebody who has knowledge and skill. Now, whether it's earned or not is a different thing, but people do recognize a title. So my advice that nobody asked for is don't cheapen Jeet Kune Do by doing things that confuse the heck out of people. We've had a lot of that in the JKD world probably since day one, right? So for example, that thing I said about guru, right? If you're talking in terms of Filipino Kali, well, yeah, okay, well, that kind of makes sense. But if you're talking, you know, by all means use it, right? But if we're talking about Jeet Kune Do, then how about we use terms that Bruce Lee himself would have used or may have used? I think I'll leave that right there. That's all I got to say about this video. You leave your comments down below, right? All right, share, like, comment. I'll ask questions. I'll review everything after posting. Again, my apologies for the late start. I almost had to push this back to 8 p.m. Sign up for notifications for when we go live here on Facebook, and over on the YouTube, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell for the broadcast and the Jeet Kune Do dialogues. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods and on Instagram at Dwight D. Woods. At ilovejeetkunዶ.com. Quick Skill Series Volume 1 is still available. Coming up on Friday, we're doing another Jeet Kune Do Dialogues double feature, because it's very possible that I will not be here on Friday, December 25th, and Friday, January 1st. I'm fairly sure there's not going to be any dialogue episodes then. So on this Friday at 4 p.m., we're on with Albert Grajales of JKD Puerto Rico. And then we come back at 7 p.m. and we're on with Andy Wilson of MKG Seattle. So that's Friday, Jeet Kune Do Dialogues double feature, 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Yes, this is how you do 7 with one hand, right? Today's a blue day. There we go. Love that picture in it, boss, right? So I'll see some of you on Friday at 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Rest of you, hopefully I'll see you next week for another issue of the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. Until then, this is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Talk soon. So, all we do is just move. See, so if you watch what the feet are doing what? Step and slide, see? Move, and go, right? Who's following who? I have no idea. Right? The bell goes ding ding, we switch lead, and we just move.
I think he's following you.
Is he following me?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Alright, okay? But nobody's advancing and causing the other person to retreat. Okay, that's not part of the drill yet. So this is essentially mirror image drill. But this is the dynamic mirror image drill as opposed to the static mirror image drill, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, see? Yes. Don't have high kicking hips. Right. So, here's what you do. Perfect low and middle. Continue to do the yoga. And notice how positive I am. When the hips become more flexible, see, not if, when the hip, right? Then you'll have the proper delivery system. No. Difference in shuffles between Boxe Française and Jun Fan. I'll do the two of them and you tell me if you see the difference.
Yes, well, you come from the outside a little bit. The steps part of it. One motion.
Yes. So I cover the distance that way. I cover the distance this way.